I married a psychopath in a religious cult because a prophet told me to, and now we are at the Disney World burger that caused my divorce. So where we left off is that I gave my cousin a bite of my burger. Now, he had been eyeing it and dropping a bunch of hints, so I just thought, okay, I'm going to offer him a bite of my burger. So I take my fork, I give him a bite of the burger, and all of a sudden, Ted, he is no longer in a good mood. Not that he was in a great mood to begin with, but extra bad mood. So he is literally sitting there like arms crossed, huffing and puffing, upset for the rest of the dinner. And me and my cousin are just like looking at each other and trying to continue talking. But it is very apparent that one of the adults at this table is literally just like completely shut down and pissed off about something. After a while, our waitress comes up and she gives us the bill, and all of a sudden, Ted, different person. He is like, thank you so much. The food was so good. And he is so flowery to this waitress. And I am just like, are you kidding me? Why are you so rude to me? Like, and why are you so mad? I did not understand. So internally, I'm thinking all of these things. And then my cousin goes to the bathroom with my nephew. So I'm finally left alone with Ted to ask him what is his problem. He proceeds to tell me that he is upset because I gave a bite of my burger to my cousin and I did not offer it to my husband first. And that is disrespectful to him as the man at the table. And I disrespected him. And how could I be so heartless? So I will own it. I got a little sassy and I said, so you can be nice to the waitress, but you can't be nice to your wife? Whew, wrong. Bad choice, Juby. Okay, he exploded on me and told me that he was upset that I did not offer him a bite of my burger first and that I disrespected him as the man at the table. And because he was my husband, I should have offered to give it to him first. And it was extremely disrespectful that I gave a bite to my cousin, despite the fact that he did not make any comments about my burger, about thinking it looked good or that he wanted it or anything like that. So this is where I'm at the Yak and Yeti restaurant. My cousin is in the bathroom and I am in shock that this is what caused this whole disconnect throughout the entire dinner. So we start to leave and we're walking down the stairs and we get to the entrance of the Yak and Yeti restaurant. And he is just screaming, causing a scene, saying that he is so mad at me and I'm so disrespectful and I don't respect him. And yeah, we're standing at the front of the Yak and Yeti restaurant and I kid you not, a circle is forming. Like there are so many people in this area. This was a crowded Disney day. And I am just standing there being verbally abused by my husband. And all of a sudden my cousin and my nephew come up. So Ted continues to rage at me in front of my nephew and he is just screaming and screaming and saying that he is going to take my credit card and my ID and that he is going to throw them in the parking lot of Disney and that I will be stranded in Florida and I will have no way to get home because he's heading back to Atlanta right now. Find your own way home. And he is just screaming in this large crowd of people. I am humiliated at this point because you always see those videos of people fighting at Disney. And in my head, I was like, we are so trashy. We are causing a scene at Disney World. We are going to go viral, you know, and I just want to get out of there. So I start to walk away and he like tries to grab my arm and he's like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'll talk to you later. I'm not talking to you right now. And he's like, talk to me. And I said, I'm not going to talk to you right now. We're acting like trash. And I said, we're acting like trash because I genuinely felt like this whole thing was so trashy. But just know that after I said that for days, Ted tried to get me to apologize for saying that we were acting like trash and that I deeply wounded him for that. So this is another thing that abusers do. They like try to hold on to the one thing that you did in reaction to their abuse. So anyway, it was just very crazy. We ended up going our separate ways for maybe like 20 minutes. And then we ended up meeting up towards the dinosaur ride. We tried to repair things as much as possible. I was like, let's just move on and we will deal with this in Atlanta because I think we might have been leaving that night, if I remember correctly. Like we were going to do a half day at Animal Kingdom and then we were going to get on a plane and go back to Atlanta. So I was like, let's just figure this out when I'm not with my family because you also have to realize, guys, that a lot of you have asked what my family knew. My family did not know that he was abusive. There was one incident, I think on a New Year's party or something where he had kind of had a temper and he stormed off and left me at my cousin's house. But this is the only time, and only a few family members knew about that, and it had been years ago. So the fact that he did this in front of my cousin and my nephew, I was reeling because I realized that I could no longer keep up this facade that he was this great Christian guy that I had met and that he treated me so well, because I was still praising him on social media and they had never seen this side of him. The rest of our Disney day was obviously very weird. My cousin ended up coming up to him and he was like, "Hey man, you okay?" Anyway, and Ted just kind of like walked off. So there was weird tension vibes. They ended up going to ride the Flight of Passage ride and I stayed with my nephew, and then we ended up leaving and going to the airport. And I was just very much grappling with this idea that I was going to have to address this, because some of you guys have been asking me, what did I think about ever having kids with him? Had that ever crossed my mind? And that is actually a huge part of why I left, and I'm going to get into that in the next video, so follow for the next part.